You see the bottom part of this model is integrity, trust, character, values-driven, authentic, ethical. That's so important because if you don't have that, people won't trust you. And if they don't trust you, how can you influence them as a leader? But you'll notice courage is in the center because courage is the backbone of all leadership, of all honor and character. It requires courage. Otherwise, like the lieutenant colonel, our doubts and fears will take us out and take us off course. Confront your doubts and fears is so important. We had to learn to confront our doubts and fears. Staying positive is very important. As a leader, you better be very careful about complaining and getting negative because emotions are contagious. Even though things are difficult, you have to look at a way, how can we work this problem and believe that we can get through it. Optimism was the number one reason for our resilience there. Guarded optimism, not crazy, we're going home tomorrow, but guarded optimism, grounded optimism, some of them call it, is the Stockdale Paradox. You never give up hope of a good outcome, but you have to deal with the brutal realities of the current situation. Now, the message here is clarify the culture. The culture is one of the most important things a leader has to do, and the leader has to own it. Reiser's guidance, and he started putting this out in 1965, 2 years before I got there. He says, I'm in charge, and here's what I want you to do. Be a good American, live by the code of conduct. Resist up to the point of permanent physical or mental damage, and then no more. Go ahead and give in, give as little as possible, bounce back because they're going to come after you again. And then stay united through communications. We had covert communications, and we really had to take big risks and work at it hours a day just to get a few messages through. Pray every day, go home proud, return with honor. Our mission, vision, and values were tied up in 3 words: return. We wanted to go home desperately, but with honor. Everything in leadership comes down to being both results, mission, which means you have to know how to set standards and be tough, okay? You have to know how to be tough. You have to set standards. You have to hold up people accountable. When I say be tough, I don't mean beat them with a stick. I mean lay down the law, and when they get out of bounds and not doing their job or they got a bad attitude, you have to sit down and talk and say, this is not working. Let's see, find out why. And to be honest, I looked to him as my role model, and I wanted to be more like him. I wanted to be tougher, like he was. He was tougher than me, and he could go longer under torture than I could, and I wanted to be more like him. So he inspired me. He influenced me to be stronger and to put aside my fears and step into the fire, so to speak, when we had to. 40% of the population, we know now because we do assessments of human behavior. Now, I've been doing this 30 years, 40% of the population is bent toward results or mission. That's their drive, their natural talent. 40% toward people, relationships. That's their natural strength. And 20% have some of both. Naturally, under pressure, when we get angry or afraid, we try to dominate, and others of us try to withdraw. And some of us who try to dominate, if we can't dominate, then we withdraw. Well, that just doesn't work very well. Okay, it'll work well for a few minutes, and maybe in wartime, yes, it worked. But in day-to-day life, it doesn't work, and you have to learn to engage. And you better understand that about human nature. We want to feel valued. We want to feel significant. And as a leader, you've got to spend time and energy doing that and do it in a genuine way. You may have to act your way into a new way of feeling, okay? Because it may not feel natural, but you can work into that because your values will tell you it is right. As a leader, you have to really know yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And confident leaders, people who have true inner confidence, are okay with themselves, with the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you're not comfortable in your own skin, you're going to have trouble doing this, I can tell you. And especially you'll have trouble being both confident and humble because they're almost paradoxical. But if you really have confidence in yourself, that inner confidence, you're okay to be humble. You're not worried about yourself. You can focus on somebody else and helping them and being honest about yourself. People say, how did you do it? We had faith. You must believe. Henry Ford said, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're probably right. Faith in God was very important. Faith in ourselves and each other was very important. Faith in our families, faith in our country that someday they'd get us out, and faith that we could and would return with honor. Think about it. There's no glory without suffering. We POWs agree with that. And I want to add one more. There's no honor without courage. We wouldn't want to go through that again, but we wouldn't change a thing because we came home better men. You recall I said, without suffering, there's no glory. You have to make the best of your suffering. You have an opportunity to grow in suffering in ways you would never have in good times.